Hi guys. I wasn't going to go live for this. I was going to record it and upload. But I looked at how many pages I had written in my notes of what I wanted to share with you, and I was like, I better go live. I don't know if my camera can hold all of this on my phone. All right. So, Goddess Danu. All right. So, very interesting journey this has been. I feel like my hair is getting into my eyes, but I don't think it is. Okay. So, all the way back, okay, in September 25th of 2020, I went into my very first past life journey, okay? I went into the lower world through the tree of life and then into the journey. And with the journey was with Mother Spider, okay? And Mother Spider came to me and she was gigantic, okay? And she took me to Ireland, or what, it's not the Ireland of today, okay? So it was much larger scale area. And she asked me if Mother Earth and Father Sun had provided for me. And of course I was like, yes. And then she asked if I had not called on the rains, right, in order to grow what was needed. And I was like, well, yes, I did, right? And it was in this journey that I was introduced by Mother Spider to Mother Spider being very much of Celtic nature, okay? The bard, okay, the storyteller, the artist, the dreamer of dreams, the webs, the grids, okay? So keep in mind that, the grids, okay, for later. Other worlds, and the ovate or seer who brings fresh perspectives to life, and the druid teacher of wisdom. And so it's also very interesting to note now for later that the tree of life, or as they call it, the tree form, is very special to the druid spirit, okay? So very special to remember, okay? So, very interesting. Y'all know what? I'm looking at the notifications to see if you guys get notifications, and I have 0 notification that this video is even live. So I find that really funny, like that it's not showing up. So you guys may not even see this until later anyway. All right. So think about the tree of life. So above, so below. Okay. So months and months, okay, ago as well, I started entering the journeys, and I've talked about this in some of the readings, through fire. All right. And so I saw this as being the magma, all right, being the heart of Mother Earth. And I was shown that I had to walk through the fire to get to where I was meant to be for my soul purpose. Okay. Also, that this is a place that creates, like, from the soul. Okay. The fire creates from the soul. I was also shown in this space that ice is a place that creates emotional boundaries, okay, protecting us from dark energy or dark matter. So I might have to go back and revisit the messages that came to me when I did the Rune Rakers ice video. But I also started walking at this time with Wolf. And lately Wolf has been coming to me as a guide. And the wolf, I was shown as the caretaker for children and those that are still working through inner childhood wounds. And when you go into the singular inner child healing, then the wolf spirit shows up as your protector. Okay. So as I moved through these downloads over months and months, I became part of, at one point in my journey, I actually became a part of Pachamama. Like I saw myself as Pachamama and connected to all that she could see. In fact, as Pachamama, I just had a giant third eye. Like that was my eye. And I was guided to lie down and become a part of Mother Earth. And that is very much the part of what I see as being seed, shamanic, and ancient practices. Okay. Now, in my original journey into the earth, I came back up with the moon in my eyes, right? We just had the new moon. And that's very important. The moon is very important in this month. And with the new moon was the 8-8, okay? And I was in this dark muck that I saw. I was in the dark moon. I was in the void of the moon. And so this is very important on the path to Danu, because you need to surrender what you think. You need to surrender the ego mind, the thought, because nothing is truly concrete. Everything is fluid. Time is fluid, I always say, right? And so above the balanced energy of the cosmos, so below the balanced energy of Mother Earth. That is always fluctuating, but that is also always a construct, okay? And we require each of these to balance. And so, okay, the surrender part is still kind of hard for me, right? I'm sure you guys understand that walking through this. So during the solar eclipse, okay, the circle of fire, and so I don't remember how long it's been, whether it's been a couple of months or something since we went to, there was the bell, so somebody needed to hear this. It's been a couple of months since we went through that solar eclipse, I think. So the solar eclipse, the circle of fire surrounded me, and it became a fire tornado. And again, I was taken to what I felt like Ireland, okay? And I came to the stone people, and I danced with the soul beings in a circle of stones. And it was a very protective energy. The stone people are very protective. And I entered the earth again. And it was here that I found my very ancient self, okay? And she had these powerful, dreadlocks or like tendrils or something. Kind of looked like dreadlocks, but could have been more tendrils. And they were coming off of her head. And I was told that she was a traveler or a nomad. And it was only after this journey that I stopped being carried all the time in my journeys when I was going to the upper world. And I started to being able to fly as a spirit in different animal forms, or just as a spirit. And it was after this that I moved into the 4 doors. And if you guys, you can go back and look at soul paths. And so we did the 4 doors soul path, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. Please stop messaging me. We get it. The universe is like ding, 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 ding. You really have to listen to this. We get it. I don't need any more reminders. I'm listening, Spirit. Okay. So I was told to get serious about raising myself out of the 3D muck. Okay. It keeps coming back to this 3D muck. Once that message came to me, that's when Miriam the Chase, that I've talked to you guys about, came to me, the Divine Mother. Okay, so Mother Mary started coming to me. And also the stone people came to me as mountains. And I started walking with the mountains, with the stone people, holding my hands, okay? And I was told that one day is coming. Okay, so there's an very important day, okay, the one day for many of us that's coming. This is why I was guided to do last week's readings of the agreements, okay, because the Agreements Journey Tarot card readings were being driven and guided to heal that space and the frequencies of imbalance that are still creating resistance in your story. So within the sacred rune rakers, right, journey that I've gone through a little bit here, I was actually weaving with the seer energy to get myself to Danu. I didn't realize that, right? So we zigzagged with the sun and we adapted our path. We walked across the pond on ice, right? We walked across the ice. And I actually think that that was the Lion's Gate. And in order to leave our dark matter behind, right? So we completed some very important cycles after the eye of the serpent guided us. And as I almost just saw myself, they were showing me as being like the eye of the serpent in this energy, as being the seer. And I have now shed some of that skin from going through all of this that I'm sharing with you all. And so in of this, I am the eye of the serpent. Okay. So the eye of the serpent guided us, and Venus came in, and she brought her fertility with Ing. And when we hit the peak of the Lion's Gate, right, Mars was in Virgo, but was also squared with the nodal axis of Venus in Virgo, opposing Neptune. So this was really completing the things back in March that were happening for us when this conjunction started, okay, walking us through this fire. So because of the culmination of work we have done over the last 5 months, okay, we are ready. All of us that have been on this journey together, we are ready for this new chapter of work, okay? And it's important, I felt like, for you to know that. And that is why there was the gift of the secret tree, okay? And the secret tree is the other half of the tree of life. We don't know this, but this is what was given to me, is that the tree of life is 2 trees come together as one, okay? And so the tree of life has come to me, and then the bringer of worlds is brought through the 12th state. So that's what just went on, was this bringer of worlds. And we'll get to that. That's Danu. Okay, so all the other runes, of course, connected with this, but those were the most important ones to get us to Danu. And so Danu wants me next to go through the runes of control, autumn, thyself, sap, seed or void, shadows, fire, and cycles. Okay, so I will do that. Your soul contains your codes, right? We've talked about that before, and your purpose, just like your hands do, as well as your life lessons, okay? And so we go into the earth, I was told, as gods and goddesses to gain compassion for others, to be able to grow and learn and have those life lessons, okay, on our soul purpose. Now, tiger medicine, of course, keeps coming to me, as does lion medicine. So you can go back and watch those videos if you want to. But tiger is taking your wishes right now, since this first full moon of Aquarius that we just went through, and has planted them, okay, in the fertile ground in your heart. And so take the next 4 days, I was told to tell you, take the next 4 days to connect to Venus and the tiger, and make sure that you are very singularly connected to what you wish and the work that you are doing. And again, all of this for me started when Venus was conjunct the moon in October, when she was actually visible in October of 2017. So I started shedding my old ego back then. Okay, some of you may feel that with yourselves as well. I also was told to mark your calendar for February 22nd, 2024. Okay, because this is when this conjunction happens. Venus conjunct the moon in Capricorn. Okay, big death, big shift, big rebirth. So Danu started coming to me a few weeks ago by showing me the portals on my knees, okay, which are actually bridges. It's bridge energy. All right. And I was dreaming, but I wasn't being creative. And so this was all starting to show up physically for me. And my knees were the first thing where I noticed it. And so I had to call on earth medicine energetically. I don't smoke. I smoked when I was a very young kid, like all rebellious teenagers do. And I exhaled tobacco because the tobacco was surrounding my heart. Smokers surround their heart with tobacco as a way of protecting it. And that tobacco energy was still in my heart, trying to protect me, but it wasn't letting me get to where I wanted to go. So Danu showed up with the tobacco, and she gave me a Norse little nudge again, right? And said, I'm gifting you with Macht and Kraft. Okay, both are power, both are words of power. And as I was writing this for you, I could feel this tug at my power core. Okay, solar plexus, sacral chakra. You might feel a little of that too. Macht is ego power. All right. Kraft is spiritual power, spiritual energy. And she brought this back with the gift of fire and walking through the fire until we burn those toxic parts of Macht away, and in such leaving behind the toxic parts of ego and letting the craft open to expand our awareness. I was told that Metatron would show up to help those that want to learn this craft when they are ready. Okay. So in my journey, I was finally moved into white fire. And this has been called the ascension flame. It's the Kundalini flame, right? But it really is much more than that. It is guided to us by Mother Mary, by Pachamama, by Danu. It is the flame of purification. Okay. This has been called the Mahatma energy, the one source. So within the white flame, she showed me two trees hugging and kissing. And then they held hands and they started walking together. And this was just as I had been walking with mountains, right? The trees were walking together, holding hands. And I was showed the story of the trees walking from the Bible. Okay, so I am not religious. I had never heard this story before. But the story of the trees walking in the Bible is that there is a man who is blind. And Jesus takes him out of the village and he lays hands on him. Okay. And the blind man opens his eyes and he sees trees walking. And he says, "Oh my goodness, I see trees walking." And then Jesus lays his hands on him again. And then the man's like, "Oh," rubs his eyes. "Oh, they're people." And what I was told is that when you are healing, you must have the spiritual insight first before you can heal the 3D self. Okay, so this two trees walking, holding hands is the tree of life. The Yggdrasil tree, the mighty oak and the ash, the world tree. It's the portal, okay, to the white fire. And the one source. It's our spiritual healer so that our 3D bodies can be healed. So as the trees walked forward, I was in the white fire, and I was guided that it is the only frequency that can be used only from a standpoint of love. Okay. So the light is a mist veil. And in my next journey was taken to the dark, mucky forest, more of that muck, right? The dark, mucky forest. And the lion, which is the energy of the lion's gate, right, was leading me to transform into my flying self. And so I would be a lion, and then I'd go back to being myself, and then I'd be a lion. And then we came to this mist, and I couldn't turn into the bird to fly away. I was so stuck in the muck of fear that I couldn't move into this place. I was still hiding in fear. I entered the portal, the Lion's Gate, for one moment in this journey. And this was the very beginning of the Lion's Gates. This wasn't on 8/8. And I just went in and was healed by the mothers, okay, by Danu, Mother Mary, the pure energy of my mother. And then I went back to the muck and the mist. So I kept trying to go back and trying to, how do I get rid of this fear? But then we had that void of the moon. And the void of the moon in Leo started on August 6th from about 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time until midnight. Okay. And so I just could not connect. I tried, I could not. When I would, tune myself in, honestly, the only thing I could connect to was my divine partner. Like, that was it. That's all I could connect to. So on the 7th, I came back and I went back to the forest, and it had turned into more of a misty swamp. And I followed the mist, and it took me to a fire ceremony. And as I was getting there, I was wearing these boots, right? Those rubber boots. And I was carrying, like, on that one card deck, I was carrying, it's the star card. And I was carrying my clay pot, right, that I had put the muck in. And then I dumped, when I got to the fire, I dumped it like this, like poured it upside down. And I dumped all the muck into the fire and then put the clay over the fire, almost like I was making a kiln, so to speak. And then the fire turned into this bright white fire. Now, kilns are usually using the fire in the yellow and orange fire range. Okay, that's core fire. But the top temperatures for higher end kilns, the cone range is white fire. Okay, and that's where they are firing the high fired porcelain. Okay, now I've never thought of porcelain as clay. I don't know if any of you have ever thought of porcelain as clay, but this is kaolin clay, also known as calcium bentonite clay, which is the clay used, right, in facials. It's used for detox, for cleansing properties, to absorb what isn't needed. Gives me a whole new aspect of maybe why porcelain was so needed for people in the 70s. I don't know. So this is the purest form of clay. All right. And it's hard. It has extremely tight density, and it's white in color, right? But when it is very, very thin, it's almost translucent. So your porcelain body, I was told, is like the clay. All right. So it can form an energy field between the body and your aura. And this can be sometimes protective, sometimes it's disrupting your connection to your higher self. So kaolin does not have iron in it. All right. That's important to note. It also lacks an alkaline pH. And so both of these items may ring true to you if you are resonating with this story. You may need to have your iron stores checked by your physician. You may need to eat more of an alkaline diet to keep your body at the proper space that it needs to be in. So after I gave up my muck and my clay, right? Like giving up my regular earthen body, my ego, it turned right to white, and I roast, and then it roared like a lion. Okay, the fire roared like a lion. And so I put in my big old rubber boots into the fire, and because if you've removed the muck, right, you don't need the boots. And then I started removing my clothes, and I put all of my clothes into the fire. And then I danced around the fire in ceremony. And as I was dancing, like this strangely naked being, right, dancing around this white fire, wings and feathers started to develop on my body. And then I developed a bird's head and a beak. And I began to form into a phoenix. And I turned into this phoenix, and I flew through the fire, and I flew to the tree of life, and I flew all around it. And then I came to the door, and I asked the tree of life if I could enter. And when I entered, the first thing I noticed was that my 3D self became like this small child. Okay, and that's because that's the only part of your 3D self that can enter the tree of life. And then I saw my spirit, my soul being, as just made up of white light. And it's the pure white light. And I know that that's very reflective, because I've also seen myself when I was born into being a being here from out of the void, out of the portal. And I was all these different colors of the atoms, right? But the white is all of the colors of the atoms. It is the gases, the minerals. And so I then moved through the tree of life into where, of course, the void, the indigo energy. What I've talked to you guys about, right? Of being the unknown. So I saw the void of this new moon, 8/8. And we were sleeping peacefully in the void. And I grabbed a silver cord and a gold cord, and I braided them into my hair to keep me connected as I went into the upper cosmos. So I first walked with the stone people, and they gave me the gift of the pink crystal. They were giant pink crystals, okay? Then I walked into the plant world and was given vines to eat. I think to rethink my alkaline state. I think also to maybe change my conscious thought patterns. I walked into the spirit animal realm, and it was like a welcoming home. And then I was met by Jesus. And I was like, what? I am not religious. Hello, Jesus. And he was very welcoming. And he also showed me that he was the spirit of the wolf totem. And so when the wolf totem comes to take care of children and inner children, right, it is Jesus. So he gave me a gift. It was a beautiful porcelain jewelry box, of course, porcelain, adorned in plants. and he had me open it up, and he put in the indigo energy and the pink crystal soul self to carry in my medicine bag. And with this gift, I was able to walk into the realm of receiving. And so I was shown this space as the energy that has opened for all of us to reclaim our divine, sensual, feminine energy. And so this is for the females that are listening, for the males listening. We all have that divine, feminine energy. And when I returned out of the tree, of course, there was no more muck, right? Only grass fields. And the tree embraced me as only parents could, right? The divine feminine and masculine sides of the tree. And I embraced them back in gratitude. So it was really funny. I started writing, and you can see right here, I ran out of ink. So I was about to write something that I determined that Spirit was saying that your masculine self is not ready for that yet. So I will have to share that when Spirit is ready for me to share it. But there are, for the feminine side of us, there is no parameters within the pure feminine energy to hold you back. Okay. So I wanted to better understand the void and the crystal energy. That's more where Danu is coming in. So I have been very drawn lately to the energy of the hibiscus. Okay. Especially the white hibiscus that has the red center. And in shamanism, white flowers, because I do my altar every couple times every week, and I do white flowers for the feminine and red flowers for the masculine on my altar. And the white hibiscus is the divine feminine energy, and it connects to the butterfly, the bee, the bat, and the hummingbird medicine. So these may be showing up for you guys now. And then this is about the sweetness, the true nectar that comes from the inner nectar, which is associated with the flamingo and the sea turtle, asking the divine masculine, side of your energy to stop being in the muck of your transactional life, and move into the beauty path with the moon and the jaguar and see where you're truly meant to be, and do it without having to have that transaction take place, Now, the Filipino people believe that there was a masculine who fell in love with divine feminine whose name is Mula, and she was a supernatural being who tends to the forests, of course, and lives in rivers, lakes, and caves. So again, Mula, right? Mother Gaia, Pachamama, Mula, Danu, these are all feminine embodiment of this energy. Now, there's a fight that ensues, and Mula tries to save her divine masculine from his ego death, his 3D death, right? And so she's Filipino, and Danu comes through as like this Ireland, Scottish sort of a being, right? And Mula sprinkles fairy dust and is not able to bring him back. And so in kind of this Romeo and Juliet sort of a storyline, right? She's brokenhearted. She follows him, like takes the knife that killed him and kills herself, right? Her own ego death, and follows him, and they come into the earth together. The earth opens up, brings them into the earth together, and from their love, what sprouts is the hibiscus flower. And so it symbolizes the true afterlife, the immortal soul, and the divine partnership, right? So, of course, at this part of my journey, my 3D self was asked to lie down and rest in the dirt. And as I did this, my true being rose up and stood up and walked out of my body. And she was beautiful. She was this tall, human-like being. And when I was writing this, okay, I felt dizzy as I was taking my first breaths as this being. That may mean something to some of you. It may resonate with you. But she didn't originate on this planet, okay? And she was this tall, beautiful, deep blue, purple, indigo being, okay? And I was shown this as being the blue rays, but actually predating all of that. So this is a being that her people were the first incarnations of what we now know as blue rays, indigos, rose rays, even these crystal beings. These all came from this original incarnation, okay? And so the Spirit told me that where I came into this journey in Ireland was that Danu, right, was the Dunan tribes of the gods, okay? A race of gods and goddesses, perhaps aliens, okay, so to speak, that came from the north, hummingbird medicine, on dark clouds. Danu is the goddess mother of the tribes, which is interesting because I'm writing the story, one of the stories that I'm writing, somebody needs to hear this, on Amazon Vela is the Celestial Spark, which is the story of the 13 tribes, the 13 zodiac signs, okay? So in the journey, I walked a long way, and then, of course, I buried myself into the earth until it was time for me to come back to this timeline. Thuadunan built a kingdom under the hills around Ireland, but I also was told that they did this around the world, okay? And that they had great skills in magic, arts, music, poetry, and architecture. They arrived in Danu's mist, bringing them with the horses and chariots, okay, as they moved here to this plane. And after they buried themselves, they were thought to be what is now called the cave fairies, okay? Now, there were 4 treasures of the Thuadunan, I think it's Dunan, and I am told to talk about 2 of those. Okay, the first is the Stone of Fire, the Stone of Destiny, Liable, the Coronation Stone of Tara. And as I was in this journey, the lion kept roaring and the ground rumbled like an earthquake. Now, I lived here in Seattle in the 2001 earthquake, and it was like a 7 or 8 pointer. And this earthquake felt stronger than that, okay? And the stories go that this stone roared with joy when the High King would put his feet on it, okay? And so it's important to note that there's also a story of the demigod Kushan, who doesn't get that same reaction stepping on the stone. And so he gets angry and he takes his sword and he splits the Liafel, the Stone of Destiny, in half. Okay. So I was then shown that my very first journey experience, which I wrote about in my woo-woo diaries, also on Bella, with the fire shaman, that the pink crystal that I was given was the Liafel energy, and it was returned to my heart, and that it sparked the beauty path in my heart and the healing journey. And I was given this by the high priestess, the mother goddess Danu, goddess of earth, goddess of the land. And she was on the Nordic snowy lands, and that's why it was also carrying the energy of Freya, of the heart of Venus. And the mist in my journey has been the same protective energy that Danu used to bring the people here, to make sure that the pink crystal was activated in the heart undetected. And as it was activated, and as you're hearing this, if you close your eyes and you feel that pink crystal being put back into your heart and you feel activated, what it felt like to me was like my heart was beating so loudly, like it was going to beat out of my chest. Okay. And it was a really strong activation. Okay. The other half of the stone, I was told, was made into and woven into the cauldron of Dagda. And this is the undry. Okay. It's a cauldron, but it is undry. The clay pot that needs to be fired in the white flame. It is buried in the mound and all that share the DNA of that mound carry parts of this crystal until their time of activation. Okay. And so in shamanism, we believe in the energy centers, kind of like the cauldrons. And so if you don't have your fire activated, then the water doesn't boil, then the thoughts don't rise. Okay. So I was shown that at that point my life as Attn, the goddess of horse. And I do have a Celtic horse necklace that you guys may have seen me wear. It's on my elephant right now because, right, the elephant never forgets. I don't want to forget my story. And it is the Celtic, like, horse and rider are always one. Okay. And so another divine partner story, another divine partner journey. Attn was in love with Angus. And just as when she embodied Mula and fell in love with her mate, the pink crystal energy in the Stone of Destiny is the source code of all timelines and the world of the pure soul heart chakra energy. Okay. So Angus is the divine masculine embodiment of love and youth. And so this is why so often these partnerships are either where the divine masculine is younger or just spiritually more immature. Okay. And that doesn't matter whether it is the male or the female in the situation. Now, eventually, their only way to be together is to become the spirit animals of the swans. And swans and geese are the same biological family. And so what I didn't share before is that at the beginning of this journey, as I entered the hibiscus, that's how I got into the journey, is I went through the red center, okay, of the hibiscus, through that sweet nectar. I exited into a cave, of course, right, the cave fairies, surrounded by the mist. And then I became a goose and flew into the sky. And when I looked to the north, there were the dark clouds. And so I landed. I went to land. I settled in the east, which is the direction, the shamanic direction of new beginnings. And do you see where all this is starting to connect to Danu? Angus is the son of Dagda, right? So Agnes has the DNA of the pink crystal. There was also, though, in this journey, a third party, Bridget, which is the goddess of fire, Queen of Wands. She is also the goddess of healing, music, and fertility. And this is the energy both the feminine and the masculine must overcome to unite. Okay. And the third party energy is both for captivating the fire within them, but it also awakens the cauldron DNA to go seek its other half. I was told that 3D union will fully activate the divine masculine to enter the cauldron to enter and put that cauldron right into the fire so that they can create their own white fire. So where did the Thu Adunan come from? Well, there is only one shamanic light worker that I could find anywhere online that had any information to tap me into just confirming what I was being told. And her channel is Honey Bee Official, HONI Official, okay? And this was about a year ago that she tapped into some of this, and she found the planet Meteorus or Meteorus. And the now I'm not going to be able to talk. The Materian planet is purple pink crystal planet. Okay. And the water on the planet is pink crystal water. Okay. And this energy has been speaking to me as the energy of the unknown, the void. And I've talked about that when I see that indigo color from the first day on this channel. Now, Saint Germain is the divine masculine energy of this planet and the master of what we call the violet flame, right? And the high priestess, the goddess of justice, is Saint Germain's twin flame, okay? When he was here at Atlantis, he was the body of fire. And what's often forgotten about the violet flame is that the core of the violet flame is pure white, okay? So when you call in the violet flame, there is a vibration that you'll feel, and it's the nucleus of your atoms roaring, okay, to help you restore to your true heartbeat, your true soul body, right, that you need to be. And the mantras of the violet flame are I am, meaning God is in me, and that is the pure frequency of love, right? That white fire, the Mahatma energy. The other mention of confirming knowing from Honey was that she said the Materians are also connected to Metatron. And Archangel Metatron, right, came to me with the blue rays and is the embodiment of the white fire. If the angel Metatron is the one that communicates all knowledge, right, through the grids, to the Akashic records, to us, to all things, it is through the white fire. And so that was a little more, that's pretty much what I needed, was through the confirmation. So remember when I said in the journey, I tied the silver and gold cord or ribbons to my hair? The silver cord is actually the link to your higher self. Connecting your physical self to the etheric being and all the dimensional parts of your connected self. And so I've started having my higher self, my other dimensional selves, like in journey, kind of talk to me. So I'm going to have to try to learn to fine tune that. The gold cord is connected to our spirit guides to keep ourselves on our soul path. And so soulmates of all kinds, whether you feel like they're karmic or divine or whatever, they come to us when their gold cord and our gold cord are a similar frequency so that we can learn what we need to learn in that moment. And here is where Metatron, okay, can send you information when you haven't tapped into the white fire yet. It's through your soulmates. It's through the gold cores. Finally, okay, out my back window for months when I've been walking. Oh, no, I know. There's a little truck out there. Come here. Come over here to your mother. Yeah, come right here. Your mother will protect you. Yeah, your mother will protect you from the big delivery truck. Okay, so out my back window, when I'm walking on my treadmill, I have trees everywhere, but I have one tree. Someone needs to hear this too. And there's been a dragon on it. Okay, a golden dragon. So the spiritual golden dragon in my birch tree. And it's been roaring at me for months. And so finally, yesterday morning, it was there, but it was no longer screaming at me. It was no longer roaring at me. And Honey saw two beings when she went to this planet. And they were tall, deep indigo and pink beings. And their heads were almost translucent, right? Think of that thin porcelain that has been fired in the kiln, right? Fired in the white fire, like they have all the knowing, the white fire. And on either side of them, there was a golden dragon. Okay, dragons are master shapeshifters, bringers of fire, bringers of magic. They connect us to the ancestral realm. And they showed me Loch Ness, of course, right? So the Scottish Highlands dragon. And this is not a normal dragon either, these golden dragons, okay? They are not the kind that I see sometimes when I'm doing readings that are the ones that lack emotions and can be manipulators. These golden dragons are water dragons, right? They come from that pink crystal water. They call them what I was called by the spirit guides was dragon kilns. They carry with them the pink crystal water, the pink crystal stones, the white fire, the horse and chariot energy to move between all times, dimensions, and realities. And they can turn the water, right, to ice and give you safe passage on your journey away from dark matter. They host this alchemical magic of gold to connect you to your spiritual awakening. The stone people protect this dragon, like the stories have told at Stonehenge. And the Celtic meaning for dragon is clear seer. Okay, the dragon protects Mother Earth. The dragon is divine by masculine and divine by feminine. Danu says that you walk with lions, you walk with tigers, you walk with mountains, and you are transcending and healing with what has divided your stone, with the knowledge and activation of all of this, and with the dragons, right? Aho. So, crazy, 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 right? So let me pull a couple of messages from Danu, okay? Let's see what she wants to do here, okay? So, for those that are looking that have not been activated, those that are looking that have not been activated, okay? What do they still need? Thank you. Okay, so if you have not been activated, right, you've got to go inward, the hermit. Okay, you've got to go inward between these two moons and really let the moon illuminate, okay, your path to the tree of life so that you can give up, okay, with the tree of life, you can give up your sadness, okay, there's all the bats, okay, so there is that bat energy of the hibiscus. So it's like a return to the earth, okay, to grow with your divine partner. Three of Pentacles, okay. There's probably, if you haven't been fully activated, there probably is a third party involved. Look at it from the learning perspective. What are you learning from this to help you activate? And then you have to do the scary things, okay, the Tower. You have to do the scary things so that you can walk into that white fire, okay, King of Cups. And this is divine masculine. So whether you consider yourself, divine masculine or divine feminine, your divine masculine selves need to walk into the white fire still. Okay. All right. We're going to clarify a couple things. What do you want? Okay. Yep. Okay. So you're pulling back to awaken your crown chakra. So you may want to do some crown chakra meditations or frequencies, something to open up that indigo energy, right? See, look, there's that deep indigo energy. If you've come from Danu, okay, that's why you're connecting to this, right? You are transforming. Again, there's the butterfly medicine, right? There is that transformation of the hibiscus. Maybe you need to drink some hibiscus tea, okay? Three of Pentacles, the bridge, okay? You're at a crossroads here. What is the lesson of the crossroads, okay? You've been trying to control this with accelerate, but the scary things do not happen when we are trying to control, right? You need to give birth to this. Look, divine feminine and divine masculine have got to come together and have this birthing process. Okay, I know you're scared, but they are showing me the winter, the ice, okay, will give you safe passage. Okay, I'm going to put that right on top of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Touching the tower, right? The ice will give you safe passage from dark matter. So, next steps for those that are activated. Okay. It's time to look into the pink crystal water. It's time to remember yourself. Okay, the star. It's time to look into that clay pot. Remember yourself. Look at the muck, right? She's looking at the reflection of the moon. Let the moon guide you, okay, to your true self here. Okay. There we've got the Six of Cups. It's time to let go of the pull, right? We were feeling the pull earlier of the red, right? Red and yellow, orange, whatever, like lower fire kiln energy that is the inner child fears. Okay, give way to that. Give way to those fears, okay, so that Danu can help you, okay, to have this ending, right? Like Danu is here to help all of us end that which no longer serves us. It only seems to go slow, right, when you are afraid to put down, right? Stranger of gardens, okay? You've turned into this goose, but you're trying to fly away from the storm, even though that storm is protective. And this falls under the tower, so not surprising. And why is it? It's because the Queen of Fire. It's because the third party energy here has you fearful, right, to keep moving forward. But look, you're about to break through. 10 of Cups. But you can only break through, right, if you move forward, right? But again, there's the ice, there's the safe passage, the mist protecting you as you move forward through this. Okay. Okay, the star. Yeah, clean slate. Look at the moon, reflect on it, let it go. Okay. 6 of Cups. Yeah, the energy that you've put out there is coming back to you. Don't get into your mind about the when. Just be in current moment energy. Okay, that's the manifestation energy of just release and just being, right? I walked through that energy through the activation into the world of receiving. You need to walk through the gates there into the world of receiving. Okay, yeah. You're in the 3D heart. You need to be in the pink crystal heart. Your pink crystal heart has been activated, that you need to be in the pink crystal heart and not in the 3D heart. You're having a hard time letting go, releasing that yellow balloon. Okay, that is the solar plexus. Okay, a lot of the powerhouse, a lot of the, like, I just want to be happy, I don't want to deal with any of this sort of an energy. Okay, realize that the Queen of Fire, okay, the third party energy between you, look, Day of the Dead, truly is actually already in the past. You just haven't moved forward to claim what is yours. Okay, have gratitude for how that has come about, right? Bringing, look at that, bringing the spiritual dragon, right, into your heart. You cannot make that up, right? All right, so let's give you a direction, okay? What does the map oracle say to you? You're on the right path. Follow your intentions to this birth. Okay, you are on the right path. Follow your intentions to this birth. What does universal love want to tell you? Universal love oracle. Universal heart, blue rays, Ophiuchus, okay, indigos. Wherever your divine masculine energy is right now, it needs to come into your universal heart. Okay, and you have to believe that that's happening. You have to believe that that activation, that energy has accelerated this. Okay, on your hero's journey, okay, again, the challenge is that you're trying to just be of the light, right? You're trying to follow the sun. And that is not necessarily what you're supposed to be following right now, right? You're supposed to be following the light, not the sun. What would your higher self do? Okay, you are divinity in blue jeans, right? Tap into that white fire. Tap into that silver cord. Okay, tap into your higher level access here. Bottom of the deck is, see, you've planted the seeds. See, Spirit says you need the intention of birth. Okay, you and your divine partner have been planted together already. There's the full moon. You just have to be in the intention here. Okay, go, grow, glow. Be in the light of having that happen. All right. And I'm going to close it off with a couple of messages, all right, from the shamans. Four-legged, okay? Embrace the masculine, the lion, right? The tiger, like all of this energy. At the center of it is the wolf, okay? Jesus. The lodge, okay? You may have to go into meditation, gain your counsel, right? Create your own white fire energy. And how do we do that? It's through accessing our imagination, our own DNT, right? Conch shell. So use that energetic energy to tap into the etheric body, to listen to the messages that are coming to you. Okay, like this person is like holding up, right? Holding up that little piece It's like a little piece of the clay, a little piece of the earth. Okay. So very much divine masculine energy here, right? You're holding up that piece of the clay to activate your white fire. And we've got the bells, okay, the deflection. Again, I feel like this is the protection for the divine masculine, right? Like the frequencies to help you really find and align with your white fire. Okay. So I hope this helps you guys. And I know this was a very long bunch of woo. And either you love the woo and you're going to subscribe and stick around and you're like, yay, do more woo. Or you're like, this is not why I came to this channel. What is wrong with this crazy person? And you're going to leave. But I can't be anything but who I am. All right. So much love. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm going to go do, let's see what time it is. Oh, 1:44. Ooh, I like that. New beginnings. Okay. Alignment of the divines. So I am going to try to get the Pisces and Aquarius readings out. And so I love you guys. And I hope you have a beautiful time. I can see there's messages there, but without my glasses on, I can't see. Yay, woo. Oh, thank you. You are fab too. All right. So love you guys. Have a great week. And if any of the woo comes to you in meditation and stuff, make sure you come back and let me know. Okay. All right, guys. Bye.